right, so we've got the Bible's Job, who questions and argues and demands answers. We've got the Quran's Job, Ayub, who embodies perfect patience and submission. We've got the Testament's Job, who endures as a king and is folded into Israel's lineage. And then there's Carl Jung, who in 1952 wrote his answer to Job, and it might be the most unhinged thing a respected psychologist has ever published. So Jung read the book of Job and was like, wait, God is supposed to be all-knowing, all-good, omniscient, right? So why does he need Satan to point out Job's faithfulness? Why does he feel...
Hey, shalom, shalom, all praise, honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kwadash, and the Hana Zelda, and the apostles of the Timothy who do well. A peace, a blessing, and salutation to you, Akim, who are pushing these truths to the four winds of the heaven, and being at the forefront of the spiritual war, and to make sure Jerusalem is established as a place here on this again, as in the days of old. So, this is a sequel, man. You see, going to Job's testament, man. I see. And the Esau, he's continuing his blasphemy, man. And then the Kalijang is an Edomite. Kalijang was just a wicked Edomite right there, man. You have Kalijang, you have Machiavelli. See, these two individuals, just some bored wicked Edomite, man. You see, who were put at the pedestal. That's why there is a very huge difference between philosophers of the antiquities and a modern philosopher, man. Because the philosophers of the antiquity mainly were jack. That's why you can be able to lead and relate. But this modern day philosophers like your Machiavelli and Carl Jung and a few others, man, you can't relate. It's just pure wickedness, man. See? Especially Machiavelli, man, and a lot of modern day politicians, man, they mimic Machiavelli, man. You see, and Machiavelli, the whole point of Machiavelli, man, you don't need to be a good person. You see, basically, good people, they are losers. That's Machiavelli, man, to put it simple. You see, they try to portray Machiavelli in a good way. You see. But that nigga, he was teaching you to be sinister, man. Basically, he was teaching you to be an Edomite. Because what Machiavelli teach you is to be covetousness. Not just to be covetousness, but you can use any means necessary to get what you want. You don't need to take the highway, man, basically. You see, you don't need to take the straight path. You need to take a shortcut and get what you want. Keep moving. You see, no matter what method you use. The same thing with Kalijang, man. You see? So Kalijang, he wrote answers to Job. I don't know from which position. You see? I don't know from what authority he wrote this answer. Or just a bored Edomite who had nothing to do. You see, I don't understand. And he said if God was supposed to be omnipotent and all loving, who told you that the Moshiach Hashem is all loving, man? You see, and he was saying why the Moshiach needed Satan to make a job like a plaything, man. And what they don't understand is that was a bet between the Moshiach and Satan, man. That's how terrible the Moshiach, how Hashem is, man. He can make a bet over your life, man. What are you gonna do about it, man? See, and these people are so they are so pissed off, man, more than a job. See, that brings me to another point. This Edomites, they don't know how to exercise patience, man. Everything to them is supposed to be quick. If we got a problem, the answers are supposed to be at your fingertips, man. That's why modern society was created. I mean, modern society was created based upon convenience. When you go to the modern health system, man, you see your hospitals and everything, man, which are supposed to be watchers of your health. Everything is at the fingertip. Your test you done at the fingertip. Everything is automated, man. You see, you have your painkillers, man. See, that's why they are known as painkillers. They're supposed to be quick. Just a half an hour after you take them, the pain is gone, man. See, they sedate you to remove the pain, man. They give you sedative, man. See, in which, by the way, are addictive too. They turn you into an addict. Everything is supposed. We see so everything have no patience. Everything is supposed to be quick. No patience at all. That's what this nigga was created. That's what carnality is, man. See, when we talk about a carnal person, it simply means he got no patience, man. You see, he make a decision based upon what he feel, man, and think at the moment. That's Esau, man. So Esau got fucked up by the book of Job, and he can't comprehend that level of humility. That's what it's all about. It's answers to Job. Job was cool. It's the Messiah, man. You see? And he said the Messiah is more righteous than him, man. You see? And not only that, Job was looking forward in his reincarnation to see the son of the Messiah, Hashem, man. You see? Job was content, you see, for what he was going through. You see? I'm not saying that it was not painful, but he took it as it came. But you have this heathen man, and throughout the Middle East, they every ethnicity of people have Arabs, they have the story of Job because at that time he was very famous, man. They got their own version of the story of Job. Even the Arab have it, man. Esau have it. In the Bible, we have it. In which in the Bible, those are Israel. You see, so they have their own kind of the story of Job. I was listening to these stories, man. You see, I was reading actually in Wikipedia. You see? So this is Carl Jung answers to Job, in which it's bullshit and madness, man. Let's continue listening.
The need to prove anything to anyone. And most importantly, why does an omniscient being act so unconscious? Jung's argument is that God, Yahweh, in the book of Job, isn't actually fully conscious yet of his own nature. He contains both good and evil, light and shadow, but he hasn't integrated them. Instead, he's projecting his own darkness onto Satan and using Job as the...
You see, so the Moshe control both good and evil. We already know that. You see. So what Kalijang say, the Moshe should integrate good and evil, in which that's not in the scripture. You see, actually the Moshe not integrating good and evil, that's very powerful, man. You see, it simply means he is very clear of what he is doing. You see, so let me get a scripture, then we get another scripture. Job 9. You see, I started verse 1. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with the Moshe? And that's what Kalijang is. Kalijang, he wants to be just with the Moshe. He wants to be even with the Moshe. That's what Esau. Esau actually think he can sit on a table with the Moshe and have a dialogue with him, man. Like a homeboy or something. You see? Or a friend from another nation. Just talk and have a casual chat, man. And the question the Moshe about his decision, man. That's what Job means. See? How can a man be just with the Moshe? How can you rationalize his judgment? That's what Job was saying. The judgment of the Moshe are far off you sometimes you can't rationalize, man. You see? We see if he will content with him, if a person content with the Moshiach, he cannot answer him. Like now, the elite of the nation of Israel, they are contenting with the Moshiach. But the Moshiach ain't gonna give them an answer. The only thing they will get is judgment, man. You see? If you can share and you start questioning the Moshiach, questioning and cursing the Moshiach will not answer shit, man. The Moshiach will just send you to hell, man. You see? You see? He cannot answer him one of 1,000. You see? He is wise in heart and mighty in strength, who have hardened himself against him and has prospered. See? So Esau is like an experiment, man. The scripture speaking, Esau is an experiment of destruction, if we will. You see, because the Moshe say, who have hardened against himself and has prospered. So Esau is an experiment of that. A person who hardened against the Moshe, man. You see? And this other nation in the kingdom of heaven, they really know that. They will understand, they will come to understand Job 9:4, that nobody can content or can harden himself with the Moshe and win. Right now, this other nation have been lied by Esau that they can actually win against the Moshe. That's why the new world order is all about. But they will come to find out you cannot win. And this elite actually, they get the inspiration of the new world order from this great thinker like Carl Jung, Machiavelli, this other philosopher, or who we call modern philosopher, man. See, you can actually sit and content with the Moshe. You can't do that, man. You see? See?
Darkness onto Satan and using Job as the testing ground for his own unresolved psychological complexes. And Jung goes further. Jung suggests that God actually needs human consciousness to become fully aware of himself, that the incarnation of Jesus was God's attempt to experience what it's like to suffer as a human, to understand what he put Job through. Kind of that God needed to become conscious.
Let me say this, yes. Of course, Job, the most shy harbor, shy love his man, his righteous man, the prophet, man. But the Messiah does not need Job. He can create many Jobs. Job needs the Messiah. You see? The Messiah does not need Job. You see? As much as you see Job, man, and the thing he went through, man, the Messiah does not need Job, man. You see? The Messiah is on a whole other level, man. He doesn't need us. He doesn't need the planet Yes. He can create many other planets Yes. See? To the Messiah, you are just an ant, man, which can be crushed. See? But yet again, because the Messiah, Hashem Yahshua is righteous, man, and mercifully, you see, he actually love his creation, man. And the scripture actually says the Messiah love his creation more than we love it. You see? You see? You see? But in reality, Messiah does not need one of us, man. We need him. You see? This is another product of Christianity have fucked people up, man. They have not been taught the right way, man. Actually, what he is struggling are just the simple basics in the Bible, man, which you are supposed to be taught well, you are supposed to be instructed well, so that you cannot be confused, man. See? Christianity have brought a lot of confusion, man. You see? Actually, people now, they think they can sit there and content with the Moshiach. Man, that's a dangerous fit to take, man. That's dangerous, man. And guess what? The Moshiach will answer these people, man, through judgment. You see? Job did not cast out the Moshiach. But Esau is casting up the Moshe, quote unquote, on behalf of Job. You see? You see? Job did not cast out the Moshe, but Esau is doing it for him, man. See? This is strange, man. See? So this is 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be not equally yoked together with an unbeliever. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with darkness? So the Most High separated the light and darkness, man. Good and evil. The Most High does not need an experiment to understand human nature. The Most High created the human. Why does he created human? The so-called human nature you're talking about was created by the Most High. You know, these Christians, they just think that, let me put it like this. These Christians, they just think that the Most High created the human and he left free will to human. He does not interfere with that. What they don't understand is the Most High created everything. The Most High created the reality, not just human consciousness. The Most High created the reality in which you can't touch or sense. You see, there's a very reality the Most High created us. The Most High created your future. See, the future was everything was created by the Most High. There is a so-called future. The Most High created your past. The Most High can do anything. You see, he can make certain. He can, for example, people say that the so-called time travel, man. You see, they say that you can't bring you can't bring tomorrow. You can't bring tomorrow. Tomorrow is already past. The Most High can do that. How does the Most High do that? Through incarnation. Certain events in history, they repeat themselves, man. The Most High can bring the past into present. The Most High can bring the future into present, man. That's why the scriptures say about hastening the day to bring the future into present, man. Through prophecy. The Most High can bring the past through incarnation. The Most High can do that. What being, what power have you heard? Can you do that? That's why this heathen are in disbelief. They can't fathom that kind of power, man. That's why they only equate the Bible to be a book of mythology. You see, things you hear in mythology, man, but it's the things which are written in the Bible, people went through them, man. You have stories in the Bible about your ancestors and the things they went through, but Esau equates that into mythology. For example, the reign of King David and King Solomon. This different scholars, they think that's a mythology. You can't actually build a civilization like that, man. We are not capable of building a civilization like that, man. You see? So this heathen and disbelief, they can't fathom the power of the Most High, and you can't do that without faith, man. See, again, the Most High is merciful because it's a faith we have was a gift, man. These other nations, they don't have that, man. You see, faith is an ingredient you need, man. That's why these heathen are struggling. They are struggling to understand the nature of the Most High. They are struggling to understand how the Most High get down. Even ourselves, we don't understand the full, but we have something, and that something is known as faith, man. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and is that not of yourself, is a gift of the Most High. And if it's a gift, not everybody have it, man. These heathens, they don't have the gift of faith. That's why they're questioning the Most High. That's why you have God the critic. See? They are critical of the Most High and the things he do, how he get down. They are bitter. Why? It all boils down to faith. They don't have faith, man. They don't have the fear of the Most High. It is not with them, man. And at their end will be destruction, man. The Most High ain't gonna talk with them, man. See, let me correct myself. Actually, the Most High took the liberty to talk with them through the prophet, but they can't get that. The only thing they will get is judgment, man. You see, well, man, this was going through the Job Testament, man, answering this. This is bullshit, man. You see. So, this is Shalom. I hope you're edified. On the next.